What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, aka Viper Magic, and once again, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Miss Rachel. How you doing, Miss Rachel?
I'm great.
Today, we're here to talk to you about the Microsoft press conference for E3 2015. Now, before we begin, I have to point out my wife's shirt.
So, okay, let's start with the fact that the haterade in this one runs strong. So, I would like to make a point, just up front. So, in 2015, Microsoft said that they're about gamers and developers. I would like to direct you all to go back and watch the 2013 E3 Microsoft presentation.
Okay, so I know you're not a big fan of Microsoft.
But I'm trying to point out that in 2013, they were not all about the gamers or the developers. So, huge change of tune. 2014, they were kind of in the middle. 2015, they've swung back to where they should be, at least in an E3 press conference.
Right, so
Microsoft and I have a very tumultuous relationship, to say the least. I was very, very upset with them. I felt betrayed as a gamer in 2013.
I did too. My most popular blog post ever was my breakup letter to Microsoft. However, let's move on. As up front, you weren't a fan of Microsoft. Now, watching today's press conference, what is your opinion of Microsoft right now?
So Microsoft and I are getting back onto a speaking relationship.
Okay.
Based off of some of the things that they said and some of the things that I saw today. So I wanted to preface it up front, let everybody know where I stand on Microsoft and why I'm in that boat.
I am one of the people who I've only had a PlayStation 4. I've been very adamant with everybody that if it's a game that I can get on PlayStation and on Microsoft, I will always get on PlayStation 4. That will not change. Today's press conference does not change that. However, I've been looking for a good jumping point into the Xbox One world, and I feel like today brings me even closer to that buy-in point. So,
however,
yes.
So we've always had kind of a standing agreement that we wouldn't get into the Xbox One until they can present us with a limited edition console.
And I didn't see any of that today.
Yeah,
I was very surprised by that.
Didn't see it.
I was very surprised by the lack of hardware today.
Maybe it's still coming. Didn't even hear anything about the terabyte.
Well, that's already been announced, and that was kind of one of those weird things where it was announced on the internet, but it wasn't re-mentioned here.
Right. I would have expected to hear something about that today. Didn't hear it.
But stage time is a very precious commodity, so...
Well, let's talk about stage time.
Sure, let's go through the presentation. First and foremost, Microsoft starts off right out of the gate. Boom, with Halo 5 gameplay.
Releasing October 27th of this year. This year!
This year. We knew it was coming out this year. We just didn't know when, and now we do.
So,
what'd you think?
I thought it looked amazing.
I did too.
They did a live demo, which I'm a big fan of.
4-player co-op.
Also showed some CGI footage as well, some scripted events.
That's okay.
So I like to see both.
That's okay.
So I'm good with that. It looks like the co-op, you can drop in and out. Hopefully that's pretty seamless. Should be good to let you play with your friends, but then continue playing even when they leave. Right,
which is pretty standard for most multiplayer games. It's nice to see that Halo has jumped on board with that, because they weren't in the past. It was mostly only the multiplayer element. But now, looks like we're going to have a really good single-player story. They mentioned that you're going to control the Master Chief squad and then Spartan Locke's squad as the stories intertwine together. Prometheans will obviously play a major role in this. I didn't hear much about Cortana. No spoilers here, but you know what happened to her at the end of Halo 4. I'm assuming something has to do with Cortana in 5. We don't know.
Yeah, not a whole lot of the story showed up, so just some gameplay, and then we saw some multiplayer.
Yeah, the multiplayer is actually what they focused most of their demo on, because the truth of it is, when we were watching it, and I turned to Rachel and I said, there's nothing they could tell me that isn't going to get me excited about this game. I'm going to get it. If that is my only entry point into Xbox One, I'm going to get this game.
Well, you've already gotten the game. We don't even have the console, and we already have the game pre-ordered.
I did pre-order the collector's super, $200 edition. Don't have no idea what it is, but I bought it. I don't even care.
So you're not trying to sell us on the game, and I don't think anything that you saw would sell you on the game.
Yeah, if you were on the fence about Halo and you saw this, you
didn't push you over.
Or it didn't help or detract your stance. However, the cool thing that they talked about was the Warzone multiplayer.
Yes.
So the Warzone is 12-on-12 multiplayer, which reminded me a lot of Battlefield. It looked like a big open area, lots of vehicles, lots of objectives. They didn't talk about, objectives. They didn't talk about that. But I assume it's your traditional domination or team deathmatch or whatever. There was a lot of different vehicles in the game. I saw Banshees. I saw Warthogs. I saw Ghosts. I saw this like independent mech armor that you could suit up in, like a one person, like a big piece of power armor. That looks amazing. I'm very, very excited for that. I saw the boost pack is going to make its return. And one cool thing I wanted to mention about the single player, throughout the demo, the lead character, which we were watching it all from one person's point of view, which was Spartan Locke, he was pointing to different objectives. And it appeared like a beacon on everyone else's map, like hit this target or go stand over there. Now there was a lot of talking between the two, obviously very scripted, but it's cool that system's going to be put into place. And I'm curious if you could just aim at a crosshair and press a button and it alerts your squad mates. I want you to look at this.
Yeah. Again, nothing. I wouldn't say anything really new came out of this demo, this presentation. Didn't do anything to add to my hype for Halo 5. Didn't detract from it either.
Right.
So just kind of a status quo.
And that waypoint system, briefly, that was also mentioned a lot in the Fallout 4 demo. So I suspect you're going to be seeing a lot more dynamic pointing to things, and the world the game interprets what you're pointing at and makes corresponding action. So that's going to be coming out this year. Super excited about it. Whether I get a limited edition console or I buy the 1 terabyte, don't know. But that was the first right out of the bat, Halo 5. Everyone went nuts.
Next thing was a new IP exclusive.
This was the new IP that they'd been teasing for a while. It's called Recore. I mean, you could take a million different things out of the trailer. Obviously, the main element was the actual orb. These orbs that controlled. Looked like blue was good guys, red was bad guys.
Exactly, red versus blue. Kind of typical. Comes out spring 2016. I'm hoping we'll get some more information about it before it comes out. It looks good, but
I'm sure during the week they'll probably have something.
I mean, wasn't a whole lot of information.
It's a teaser.
I would have liked a little more.
It's a teaser. Keep in mind that we still have all of E3 week. We have Gamescom coming up later in the year.
Well, for those of us who
East.
aren't at E3 and won't be getting to go to any of those to play it, I'd like to see a little bit more.
I'm sure they're going to have a lot more. And it had a female. It looked like a female lead.
Yes, it did look like a female lead. Looked like she had a companion that she was very attached to. So
yeah, the orb that looks like it transforms into a different dog or gorilla or whatever.
So now we move into what I would suggest is probably one of the top announcements coming out of the Microsoft press conference.
Which was, what was that?
Backwards compatibility.
Whoa, that's amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing.
So this makes the terabyte release of the Xbox One make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, they kind of alluded to in the announcement that you would put in your old game and then download it to play it.
Yeah, so that was kind of iffy. I'm a little concerned about that. How many of them can you actually play and store? But you have the option of digital or retail. So now it is available right now for preview members, and it will be available holiday of 15 for the rest of us.
I think that's a huge deal. Now, if there's a selective list of titles, I mean, that's better than nothing. Obviously, they're just highlighting on the key thing. They did say that they have some now, they'll have some later. I'm not sure what that means.
It was interesting. They said that all the game developers have to do is tell them that they have approval to do it, and they don't have to do anything else. So
that was kind of a weird thing to say during their press conference.
I'm kind of confused.
That was kind of weird.
As to what it actually means.
Were they not getting support, maybe, or something?
It sounds like maybe they were trying to put some pressure on the developers to let all of their titles
We're
be
ready. What's
compatible.
your problem, right?
So they don't have to do anything. Just give us the okay to do it. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Kind of a fishy statement.
But that was a big deal. Regardless of how many hoops you do or do not have to jump through, finally getting rid of my 360, making the leap to an Xbox One, bringing my games over with me would be monumental.
Yes,
I would love
absolutely.
That. I would love that.
No doubt, no matter what it entails, backwards compatibility is always a good thing.
I agree.
Then we come to the next big announcement.
To me, the announcement of the show.
Which, quite honestly, the last one with the backwards compatibility is kind of neck and neck with this one.
Right.
An Elite wireless controller coming out fall of 2015. No pricing information given. If I had to guess based on the features that I saw,
it's got to be more than
about $100.
It's got to be more than a regular stick,
yes,
which is
absolutely
$59.99 MSRP.
So the big things that I took away from it, all of the face buttons are swappable. The buttons are remappable, and there's paddles on the back, and you can lock in the triggers.
Were the video? I don't remember seeing the buttons being swappable. I know the sticks were.
The sticks were the D-pad.
The D-pad was redesigned. It looked like a hexagon.
But it was also swappable. So
okay.
If you didn't like the way that it sat, if you wanted to put it up top, you could put that. But it looked amazing.
There's a lot of aftermarket controller accessories. I've done a lot of blogs and videos about this in the past. It looks like you'll be able. It looks like. This is like the thing that's going to drive Control Freak out of business, because if you could change the thumbsticks, you could change the heights, you could change the tensions of the push-in. Yep. It had triggers around the back, so when you're playing, if you didn't want to lift your hands up on the pads,
you got paddles on the back.
Pretend this is an Xbox One controller. The pads were on the back here, so you would have everything mapped here, and there are these bars that went across.
Yep.
And it's very, very similar to what there is aftermarket solutions that currently do that. But to be directly from Microsoft, the way that it's integrated, the way it's wireless, it looks amazing. I would love to get my hands on one of those. And I think as a professional gamer, being able to toggle your trigger values, being able to change your paddle, being able to change your tensions on things is enormous.
Yes.
It's like what the rat mouse was to mice, about how you could change every little setting. I love this feature.
So now, it doesn't solve the real issue that I have, which is that I have itty-bitty baby hands, and they don't really work so well with the ginormous Xbox controller. Doesn't solve that problem, but maybe it will. We'll see when I get one to try out.
I'm very excited for this, and I'm ready to buy one. I want one right now.
And it's also compatible with Windows 10.
It is. It is. They're making a big... Throughout the presentation, there was a lot of emphasis on Windows 10 cross feature. You know, we're doing this. Come get Windows 10. I'm looking at my clock right now. On my start bar, there's a Windows icon. Come to Windows 10. So the fact that they're embracing gaming early and they're trying to get this cross-play. There's a couple other titles where they talk about interoperability between the One and the Windows 10. I think this is a home run. I think that the Steam controller lost a lot of momentum today after seeing this. I was on the fence of pre-ordering the Steam Stick. I saw this and I want this now. That's what I want.
It does look really good.
That's what I want.
Again, time will tell if it's actually as good as it looks.
So to me, after this announcement, the conference kind of went like this. And
then peaked right at the end.
Oh, because of Gears. We'll get to it. The next thing they announced was Fallout 4. We already saw it last night. The same dude from Bethesda was on the stage again with the same gameplay.
There was a slight difference. There were a couple of little things that you saw that were different, but
a couple small. It was most of the gameplay just rehashed with him talking different narrative over the top.
So for me, if I was Xbox and I was putting this on, I would not have wasted my time putting Fallout 4 in. I'm sorry. It's an awesome game, don't get me wrong.
Yes. Watch our video the other day where we talk about it for ever.
But,
right.
I'm looking at, is this what I would put on my primetime lineup? Probably not. I would have put maybe some more attention into some of the other titles, found something else. I mean, this was pretty much already announced. The only new things that we got...
There's only one new piece of takeaway that I got from this.
So I actually got two.
Oh, okay.
With the Xbox version, it will include Fallout 3. So if you don't already have Fallout 3, you'll get it when you buy Fallout 4.
And that wasn't actually announced. You're right. That was just a letterbox on the bottom.
But again, that was new to us today. The bigger announcement, though, is that all of the PC mods can be played and shared on your Xbox.
Yeah, and this is a huge deal because PC, as I've mentioned this before, the PC gaming community is the modding community. Your hardcore developers are PC gamers exclusively. So to have somebody with the power of a PC, and by that I only really mean a keyboard and a mouse, but having that creativity hub, being able to link into your Xbox One system, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
you really do.
That's
and that is
deal.
a major announcement. And I think that kind of ties into the whole Xbox One, Windows 10 interface. I think that's a great hook. And I think if people are on the fence, as I mentioned, I'm a PlayStation 4 guy. I'll never change now. But if you were on the fence between the two consoles and you didn't have the animosity that I did, this may be the swaying point because getting that mod connectivity is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It really is. It really that's a big deal. That's like a vault. That's like here's the keys to the vault.
Speaking of creativity. Vaults, let's move on to EA Access.
Whoa. I didn't even mean to do that. It just happened.
I know, right? Look at that natural transition.
Yeah, go ahead. So EA Access.
So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of sports games. We don't really play a whole lot of them.
Not anymore.
Back when they first started coming out, I was into them. But when they became an annual franchise that didn't really grow a whole lot.
You didn't think the truck stick in Madden was worth a purchase?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was totally worth a purchase. But anyway, so what we found out, let me grab my note card so I can read you the details that I thought were important. So this week only, all Xbox Live Gold members will have a free week's access to EA Access.
That's cool.
Is cool. It lets you try it out. It lets you see what it's about.
Sink your hooks in. Start giving that $5.
Like it.
Write the check out to Peter Moore.
So it allows you to play things. It looks like it's about a week early by having that access. And then we've got Titanfall is going to be in their vault. And then later this fall, Dragon Age Inquisition is coming.
So the Titanfall thing is funny because that was the biggest hyped game ever last year. I picked that game up on Amazon for like $6. I've seen it as low as $3 brand new. Now they're giving it away for free.
Well, maybe somebody doesn't have it and still wants to play it.
Well, listen.
So everybody at the theater couldn't really tell if that was an announcement you clap about or you're just kind of silent for.
They came out and it was kind of silent. It was like, yeah. The Dragon Age Inquisition is actually a big deal. And to me, this $5 a month service, I think is amazing. I've said when I get an Xbox One, I will get this service. I think there's a lot of value added here. You're basically paying for the price of a year for one game, and you're getting unlimited access to a ton of titles. They're giving you titles early.
Yep.
They're adding in new stuff. I think this is great value added. I think EA hit a home run with this. I think it's a great deal. The fact that Titanfall's added, don't care so much about. Most people have played Dragon Age. I have not yet, but I would take advantage of that. I think that's cool.
Yep.
They did mention, that some of the EA... I don't know if they said a week or not, but I did catch that they said that on EA Access for the new games coming out later in the year, like Madden 16 or whatever,
for Madden
you'll
16,
get a little bit earlier. Was it a week?
So what I wrote down was August 20th, you'll get to play it if you're using the EA Access.
Okay.
Otherwise, I believe it comes out the 25th. So about a week.
So it's a week. Okay. And then the last little piece of EA news was that it's not like a big surprise, but obviously they're making a sequel to Garden Warfare, which was a cute little trailer. I love Garden Warfare. I got it for free last year on PlayStation.
It'll be out spring 2016.
Spring 2016. It looks amazing. Even without even seeing actual gameplay, it looks amazing.
Yeah. It's a cute little game. It's a franchise.
Yeah.
Would I buy it up front and early? Probably not.
Just wait for it to be free.
It's a great Games for Gold or PlayStation Plus game. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Next, they dropped down an actual Ford GT from the ceiling, and probably the most expensive prop I've ever seen in a conference. The car comes down on these cables. They talk about it for about 10 seconds. Henry Ford III comes out, then the car goes back up. And that was it. They didn't even turn the car on. They didn't drive the car around.
I was looking for chocks to make sure that the wheels were chalked, to make sure it wasn't going to slide off.
It looked like a real car, but
I was a little worried.
Teetering up. I wouldn't want to be in the front row. Whoa! Anyway, that game is Forza 6 is coming out September 15th. I actually use this as a bathroom break. And
the things that I gathered from it, it's going to be 60 frames a second, 1080p.
It better.
It
better be.
If 5 was, 6 should be.
Yeah.
There'll be a 24-car multiplayer.
That's cool.
And there's about 450 cars to pick from.
And the reason I use this as a bathroom break is because there's nothing innovative or groundbreaking coming into this. One thing I want to point out, I first noticed it here, and I noticed it later on. No mention of Drivatar, no mention of the cloud. If you recall, when Xbox came out, the cloud was going to change your life. Drivatar was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I did not hear a mention of it today.
No, nothing.
Now, that probably has a lot to do with Xbox's departure from the always-on system to more traditional console-based. But I was surprised, and I didn't really see any innovations that, as a diehard Forza fan, which I was until I jumped ship, I didn't see any innovations that made me say, I have to get Forza 6 right now.
Yeah.
5 to me seems still more than adequate. Yeah, you're going to get some new graphics, whatever, but from year to year, I don't think that this warrants as fast of a
adoption.
And the whole embracing of the Mustang GT, less than 5% of the people even know what that means, and even less care. The reality, it's a car coming back, big whoop.
Everybody likes to get new cars, so that's cool. But yeah, what's the difference between 5 and 6? Couldn't really tell you from the press conference.
It didn't do much for me. I mean, I'm sure it's going to sell well, but no mention of a steering wheel, no mention of any kind of cool hardware, no Drivatar, nothing that made me say, "Oh my God, I need to get into racing right now."
Nothing that was, wow, this is what's different between 5 and 6.
I agree 100%.
So, let's move on. Dark Souls 3 comes out early 16.
Be still my heart. Oh my God.
It was a trailer only. There was no live gameplay.
Didn't need to be.
There was
sight unseen. I will buy that game.
I mean, there wasn't even scripted gameplay. Nothing.
Sight unseen. I will buy that game.
But it's Dark Souls 3. How much do you really need to show?
Oh my God, it looks amazing.
And not an exclusive for Xbox. So how much time are you really going to devote in an Xbox press conference? Probably not a lot.
So there's a lot of filler stuff. I mean, not every trailer is going to have some hook to Xbox. Most of them did, but this was just like, hey, we're coming out of Dark Souls.
Yeah, this was hyping up Dark Souls.
Thanks.
Okay.
Namco says thank you.
Hype received. So then we went to The Division.
Yep, Ubisoft comes out for The Division.
So a lot of what I would say the same. A lot more of the same that I've seen the last 2 years now.
Yeah, I think it's been 2 years.
I mean, so again, not...
Thank God they did not show the demo where he goes through the train and he relives the final moments with those orange holograms. If I saw that, I was going to unplug my TV. But thank God we didn't see that.
So again, not really driving the hype train here. What we did hear is that exclusive on the Xbox One, beta access in December of 2015.
Yes, I saw that. So they're going to get to try it first, and I'm so jealous.
So they're going to get to try it.
I'll have an Xbox by then, so I will try it first.
Either that, or we'll be spending some time over at our good friend Brent Cassina's house.
Brent, over, brother.
We're coming for you.
We're coming, Brent. The Division looked okay. I didn't see anything. I don't think it's in development hell, but it's time. It's marinate. It's losing its.
I was hoping to see some more scripted gameplay, or maybe even a live play. I know they're not far enough along probably for that. But to see the same thing again and again and again.
To be fair, Ubisoft does have their own press conference later today.
Okay.
And the big element was the early beta access, so we'll see. There may be more to it.
Yep.
In the terms of what Xbox is,
we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, in terms of what the Xbox world is, this was a major announcement for Xbox community, and this is what this press conference was for.
Agreed.
Rainbow Six Siege, the big announcement was that they're going to be coming out with a free copy Hyping up again this backward compatibility. If you buy Rainbow Six Siege, you'll get Vegas and Vegas 2.
Yep.
That launches in mid-October.
October 13th.
I think this game looks amazing. It was a complete blindside to most of us last year during Ubisoft's final moments, E3. I know Aisha Tyler was on stage. She was crying. We were all crying. We had no idea this was coming. The gameplay blew us away, and the fact that it's coming out this year is amazing. I am very excited for a reboot of this series.
Yep, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I think they're close enough to a release date that they could have shown us something more. Again, it's not an Xbox exclusive. The only thing that is exclusive about it are the 2 free games.
The 2 free titles.
So how much should they really have covered it? I don't know. I still would have liked more.
Agreed.
So then next, we moved on to the Xbox and PC exclusive Gigantic.
Gigantic. That looks cool.
It is free to play.
It is a free-to-play game.
There'll be a beta coming August 2015. It is an extremely stylized game.
It reminded me a lot of Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, where you had the boat and the flute and everything. The way that it was very, very cel-shaded, very almost flat textures. It almost looked flat in the horizon. It looks like it's 5 versus enemy monsters, like 5 people in an arena fight wave after wave of monster. There's some kind of guardian. Without much definitive, we're just grasping at straws here.
There wasn't a whole lot of information. I mean, they showed us all the characters, but not a whole lot of gameplay.
They had personality. All the characters had a unique motive.
Yes.
And without knowing anything about them, I was like, oh, I like that guy.
I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah.
Again, hopefully the beta will come to PC so we can check it out.
It said you could sign up now. I was going to do some light internet research later to discover if this was in fact true.
Unfortunately, with the press conferences coming one after the other, in order for us to get videos out to you guys, we're
scrambling here.
We're scrambling. So
they jumped into the indie vignette that they do every year, the ID at Xbox program. They had they have like 4 or 5 developers come out, hype their stuff.
Yeah,
Cuphead's been in development now for 37 or 38,000 years at this point. I don't know why this game's taking so long. Where is it?
They talked about Tacoma from the Gone Home developers.
Exact same trailers last year.
Expecting that out in 2016. It'll be first on PC and Xbox. Again, we got a couple other... Indie games are always hit and miss with me.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of know what I'm getting into before I commit to a purchase. I like them for games for Gold or PlayStation Plus. It gives me an opportunity. Do I rush out and buy them? Probably not.
Rogue Legacy, yes.
I would say the closest I got to that was probably Contrast on the PlayStation 4. If that hadn't been released free that first month, I probably would have gotten that one.
That was a good game.
That one looked really cool.
But you know, the hype, the in thing was indie games. It's not the in thing anymore.
Yeah.
So, listen, I embrace the indies. We get it. I'm looking at the Steam sale every day. It's all indies. I get it. But
some of them are really good, too.
Move on.
And they're great.
Move on. Let's find the next. Let's find the new grassroots movement because indies have,
Well, I mean, some are cool. Cuphead looks really good. I'm excited for that. It's supposed to be coming in 2016.
Eventually.
We'll see. We'll see when it comes.
It's been a while. This kind of ties into the Xbox game preview that they announced.
Oof. So
I don't like this.
I
do not like this.
I don't like to be an early adopter of anything because that generally means that I'm doing your work for you for free.
Yes. So the Xbox One game preview, think of Greenlight on Xbox. It's going to give you, you could get, you buy into it for early access gameplay. You can help shape the game via the forums or comments that you give and help shape the game that you want to see.
So what they did say is that they're giving you an opportunity to play the games for free at first. It'll start with 5 games, and it actually starts today with a selection of 2 games.
Right.
I'm not really interested, so even if I had an Xbox...
the Long Dark and Elite Dangerous, which has been on PC now for quite a while.
I wouldn't be
I would not touch this
with
the 10-foot pole. I don't like this idea. I said this... I think I said this to you during the press conference. I said it before. I will buy a product. I will not buy a dream. I will not. You make the game. When it's done, you bring it to me. I don't go to Dodge and say, well, I'll buy a steering wheel now, and then in a month from now, we'll get a chassis.
I get frustrated when games don't work.
when they're brand new. Like freaking Skyrim was tanked on the PlayStation 3. That game ran like garbage. I get
frustrated when they don't work when I buy them.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to pay for a game that doesn't work that's going to frustrate me.
There's no game that I could say, oh my god, take my money. I'll help you fix it. We'll work through it together.
So maybe with the exception of Blizzard's Project Titan. Might have bought in on that.
Oh, we'll never know.
But I'll never know. So
so the free game preview is coming out, and then they jumped into an actual gameplay on the stage of the new Tomb Raider game. What'd you think of that?
Actually, you're missing
what am I missing?
Another indie. It was called Ion, simulator MMO. Pass.
The reason I skipped this because it didn't matter. There's all the indie games in a nutshell.
So it's supposed to be an outer space simulation MMO.
Clean the table.
Yeah, not interested. But for completeness' sake, wanted to let you guys know it's out there.
Who cares? Tell me about Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider coming out November 10th, 2015. I believe we already knew that.
Yeah. Console limited exclusive. PlayStation will get it 6 months later.
So
something like that.
They did show us a live demo.
They did. They did.
But it wasn't really a live demo. It was a whole bunch of the scripted events that the new Tomb Raider is known for. Now,
yes.
Was it cool? Yes. Did it do anything for me that I wouldn't have already picked up the game based on having played the Tomb Raider reboot? No.
So, you may not have known this, a fun fact. The original title of this game was Tomb Raider Pickaxe Simulator because they used those ice picks to go up the walls. That was so... Listen, Lara Croft
has amazing upper body strength.
The way she could pull herself and hook to the next thing, swing it across.
And
wow.
Crash into a wall and hook in. I mean... I swear my arms would be ripped out of their sockets and I would be, just dangling there.
I didn't see anything in this game, and I didn't see anything that really pushed the series into... This looks like more of the same. The reboot was amazing.
Yes.
The reboot was amazing because it cleared the table, brand new game, character we could care about, story we could care about, watching a young Lara Croft rise up to the ranks. Now we're watching more of that, and I don't really see anything that's propelling this genre forward. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but this is really clearly this is just a new, meanwhile, and we're going to have the exact same thing again.
Yeah. It's more of the same.
Yeah.
Does that always matter? No.
No, of course not.
I mean...
It's a great game, and you know what? I could see them being due for one, but I wasn't, hurting to get this game today, or at the end of this year. Yep. If it wanted to sit around for a year and it could, poke the formula a little bit more, I would have been okay with that. For them to come out this soon with another game after we just had the definitive edition come out, it seems a little soon. Yeah. But we'll see. It sells well. Obviously, Microsoft shored up some of the exclusivity, so obviously it's a hot commodity to somebody.
Yeah.
I won't be getting it on day one, but I'll definitely get into it at some point. They talked about the Rare replay, which it's... I am so glad, first of all, that they didn't waste their time remaking Battletoads, because that game wasn't that great. I'm a huge gamer, obviously. I'm always on Reddit seeing what people are posting, because that's, to me, the hub of the internet. And people were like, we gotta have the new Battletoads remake. And they just, all they did was the Rare took... Basically, they
took 30 games.
They Googled the MAME emulator. They put it all on a disc, and they're selling it for $30.
Yeah.
Zero thought went into this project. I will not support it.
It will be out August 4th, 2015, for those of you who do want to support it. For me, again,
I will not support it. This is a waste of time. This isn't a slap in the face to everyone, but this is stupid.
Okay. Yeah, moving on. So what Rare did come up with finally was cool.
The Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. So, when I saw this, the trailer was a little bit slow getting started. I wasn't really sure what I was looking at.
There was a guy walking around the forest for 5 minutes.
He walks into a cove, and you see a pirate ship.
A pirate ship.
First thing that comes to mind, Black Flag.
Arr.
I'm like, sweet.
So God.
I look at it. It is an even better pirate game than Black Flag was.
If that's possible.
Well, it is because there's more pirate activities involved than there were in Black Flag.
It's got that Rare charm to it, so it's realistic but cartoonish simultaneously. Yep. I saw guys just standing, and look, you could see the green names across whose You had a captain, you had a guy standing there pulling the sail, you had a guy like cleaning the
swabbing
cannons.
the deck, you had somebody walk the plank, you saw the sharks circling
walking the plank. Oh my god.
You had ship battles, you had cannons.
They had another ship buzz by and there was only one guy on it.
So
he's like, sucker. It was just the only guy in the boat. I'm like, that's cool.
So this is an awesome game.
Yes. I'm stoked. Now, obviously, Rare is owned by Microsoft, so I don't think you'll see this anywhere else. They didn't announce if it was coming to PC or not, did they?
I don't know. It is definitely an Xbox exclusive.
I am stoked about this game. Thank you, Rare. If you spent any time at all taking away from this game to put together that crappy compilation, shame on you. But I'll tell you what, this game looks amazing. I cannot wait to get out there and be a pirate.
Yes.
We need more pirate games.
So pirate games are awesome.
We need more pirate games.
There is. I mean,
can't go wrong.
What can you do? As long as it's a good game, a good solid pirate game, awesome.
Awesome.
2 thumbs up. I'm in.
I'm in.
I got no release date though, so hopefully by late 2016, but probably 2017. But I'm in.
I'm in.
Sign me up. All right. The next item we come to is Fable Legends.
It's gone free to play. Ha ha ha. That game looked like garbage when they showed it last year. They were hyping it up about you could be like this god mode and set all these paths for everything. The game went into development hell or something. It vanished. It reemerges from the ashes as free to play, and nobody cares.
Holiday exclusive
Nobody
for
cares.
the Xbox and the PC. Again,
they want to get rid of that game as fast as they can. They spent so much money developing it. The Fable franchise, as we know it, is in turmoil.
Yeah, who
if
cares?
this is the game that they worked on this long.
All right, moving on.
Ouch.
So the next big announcement.
Oh my god, this was amazing.
Hold on.
Amazing.
Before you get to the amazing announcement.
What's the other?
So, the Oculus Rifts will come with an Xbox One controller. That's pretty cool. I don't know if any of you have gotten the opportunity to play with an Oculus Rift. I have through work.
I have two.
They're
Amazing.
good. I think they have some shortfalls. But it all depends on how much time and effort you put into them. Again, no information about when they're coming out for consumers. All we have right now are developer kits.
The fact that the Oculus Rift will adjust to your eye, and I don't need my glasses anymore to experience something, big apparatus on my head, is worth its weight in gold.
Yep. However, it tends to create some gaps when you do the filming if you don't do it right. So I struggle to have the seamlessness that they want you to have when you interface with it when it's not done well.
So they did say that there would be some sort of streaming games. All the games will be streamable on the Xbox One. They didn't really go into details on that, but it's very clear they're building up this partnership. So they mentioned it again. It's like the 4th time they mentioned this Windows X in Xbox One.
So unfortunately, I had to use that time as a restroom break. So.
But
next, so I came back just in time. We started with Minecraft.
The Hololens.
With the Hololens.
Now the Hololens has been. This is not a new announcement. The Hololens has been announced almost 6 months ago.
But is new?
We've never seen it like this.
What is new is the live demo that they did. They were able to outfit a camera so that you could see
what the dude was seeing.
It was awesome. It was amazing. If you only watch one part of this Microsoft press conference, this is it. It is basically like God mode for Minecraft.
It is.
You can zoom in. It's voice activated. You give voice commands as to what you want to do. You are able to go underground and see what is inside the world. You're able to create lightning strikes. You're able to do everything that you could possibly want to do with Minecraft, but it's all in 3D.
Right.
The guy was able to take what he was looking at on the screen and put it on a table.
Yeah, that was
a 3D view.
Yeah, basically he was walking around the table, pinching and zooming while other people were in the game playing on their tablet, I'm assuming, in their console, whatever. And he was like, "Hey, I'm going to put a beacon here. Go check this out." And while he's looking down it, you could see the little people walking around interacting with the world.
Now, the one thing,
I don't even know what I would do with that, short of that, but I would never get tired of doing that.
So the one thing that I didn't like about this demo, the woman who was his counterpart put down so much TNT
that
she blew a huge hole in her city. Do you know how much time it would have taken me to have created that and then to destroy it that easily? Please tell me that this is not real life.
If that's the worst thing that came out of that demo, you got it good. I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. This, just as a gamer, the possibilities for this kind of interface to a gaming world.
It was amazing. Amazing. So, that probably in the top 3 announcements, definitely top 5. Then we come to the end of the press conference. What haven't we talked about yet? Gears.
My game, Gears of War.
Gears. We haven't talked about Gears yet.
Of War. Rod Ferguson from the Coalition, formerly Black Tusk Studios, comes out and he announces. He comes out and he wants to talk about the Ultimate Edition, which we knew was coming. It was a leak.
August 25th.
It's soon.
2015.
It's a lot sooner than I thought it was going to be.
The beta starts today.
1080p, 60 FPS, the original Gears saga. Experience it all. One more time, one-on-one General Ram on the train, 60 frames a second.
More information about it at the Xbox Daily that's live today.
I'm stoked.
So that, cool in and of itself. Does it give you what you need out of Gears? No.
Then Rod Ferguson does this cool move. He's like, oh yeah, one more thing. And they hand him a controller, and he starts playing what we
Gears
now
4.
know as Gears 4. Now, I was very nervous about when Gears was being announced a couple of years ago when they were just talking about development. A direct quote, Rod Ferguson said, "We will betray the fans with this game." And everyone's thinking, oh God, that must mean first-person view. Oh God, that must mean a reboot. Oh God, that must mean da-da-da-da-da-da-da. To me, implying that it's Gears 4 implies that it's a continuation of the story. New characters.
New characters for sure.
But everything else remains exactly the way we want it.
Yep.
The same interface between active reloading.
The same snap to cover.
The
same run mechanic.
Switching weapons, rodeo run, chainsawing.
It was all there.
It was all there, but it looked glorious.
It had the Lancer. It had the shotgun.
Oh my God.
It's due out holiday 2016.
The Gnasher is coming.
Because of the live demo, I see that as being a realistic time frame.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that I was looking for that I didn't see was the console exclusive for Xbox.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I was hoping they would bundle with the Gears remake a console. Because I want a cool console. We talked about that there wasn't a cool console. I wish there was. But I'll tell you, I was nervous about Gears. I will sleep like a baby tonight knowing that it is in good hands. We don't know anything about the characters, anything about the setting. Apparently it has 2 moons. I don't remember that being in Sarah on the first one, or the first 3 rather, so I don't know where this takes place. Don't care. If I get cameos from Cole, I'll be happy. If not, I'm okay with it. I cannot wait. I wish this game was out today. I want to go buy an Xbox today to play the beta from the original Gears remake to get me hyped up for a year from now. 18 months I gotta wait for this, but I will wait, and I'm starting the clock right now.
So overall, Microsoft press conference.
Overall takeaways. You go first, and I have a few things. Go ahead.
It was a huge departure from their 2013 stance.
Okay, but keep in mind 2014 happened as well. Okay.
Yeah, 2014.
You're like extremes. Yeah. Listen, Don Matrick era. He's a piece of shit. We've already said this 1,000 times before. He screwed the company. He went to Zynga. He screwed the company. He left. Forget that. Phil Spencer came on, a gamer who took charge of the company. 2014, they turned it around. 2015, they continue to turn it around.
But 2014, I wasn't really convinced, and I'm not buying into it. Microsoft is trying to do everything they can to get gamers back now.
I'm back.
And 2014,
choo-choo, baby.
I wasn't ready. You weren't saying what I needed to hear.
Right.
2015, you're getting better. You're starting to pull me back in.
Okay.
So, what are my top announcements coming out? Backwards compatibility. The Elite wireless controller, obviously.
That's a lot of takeaways.
The HoloLens. It's amazing.
It's real.
It's amazing. No details on when it's coming out. No details on what it will be compatible with. Nothing other than the demo, but that was enough. I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. and Gears 4. Halo 5, not a surprise. Nothing major new in that I saw, so I can't count that as a great, one of the greats. Gears 4, on the other hand, haven't seen anything else about it, so that one goes on the greats. And that is my Microsoft press conference. What else do you have to add, Jim?
For me, my takeaways. I think that they're going in the right direction. I like the backwards compatibility. I like that they're catering to hardcore controller gamers with the new controller. Everything Gears. I was surprised there was no console discussion, and I was really surprised there was no Call of Duty, which makes me think that they jump ship to PlayStation. I also did not see anything about Assassin's Creed, but considering the debacle...
would you expect it after what you saw last year?
Considering the debacle with Unity, that doesn't surprise me that Microsoft went like this and washed their hands of it. I think overall it was an amazing press conference. I think they focused on the right things. They didn't get wrapped up around any of their interfacing, no new water cooler, no mention of the stupid Halo TV show. They kept it focused on games, which is what I wanted to see.
I'm actually really glad that they didn't talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty, to me, hasn't really had anything that's super new and innovative in the last couple of years. So I was glad to see that Xbox wasn't wasting their precious time for the press conference on that game.
But the fact that they did not announce map exclusivity is very surprising, because that has been a staple. The Call of Duty of Elite service has been a staple of Microsoft. And no mention of Kinect.
Yes.
Kinect. Where's Kinect?
Where's Kinect? What am I going to use it for? It's out.
It's out. Kinect is dead. 2015. You heard it here first. As always, we want to thank you guys for watching. Please do us a favor. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let us know what you think about Microsoft and all things E3. And until 2 hours from now, we will see you guys on the other side.